Viewers, we're now going to move on and cover the latest in connection to the T20 World Cup. Now, in the latest developments, Pakistan's cricket board faced a face-palm climb down amid the ongoing drama after the PCB initially ran away from the Indian game, citing a boycott in solidarity with Bangladesh. The ICC dialogue began to see clarity on their position. Pakistan's climb down came after invoking the force majeure clause in their email to the ICC, but questions arose about its validity. India has stated they will take the field in Colombo as scheduled. Pakistan's baseless case appears to be falling apart now, with the ICC demanding proof and mitigation efforts. Now, with talks continuing, no one can really save Pakistan from a potential World Cup drubbing if penalties apply. In fact, I'm joined by Sunil Yashkalra. He's a cricket scholar. We also have Shanir Siddiqui, international cricket journalist from UAE. Shekhar Vijayan is also there with us. He's a sports journalist and commentator. And I have former Afghanistan player Asadullah Khan in this discussion. I welcome all of you and thank you for joining us here at NewsX for this conversation. Firstly, let me go across to Sunil. Sunil, what's making Pakistan really climb down at this point in time?
Well, it's an exciting time to be watching the cricket from the fences. But all I can tell you is that Pakistan had to do this in a way or something, because they cannot bear the financial loss. It's a colossal damage to the international base of Pakistan cricket. And just imagine, in Asia, if you don't have Pakistan, if you don't have Bangladesh, then I think you're only left with India, Afghanistan and Sri Lanka, who are very closely working towards it. All I can say is that in the next 48 hours, things will move forward fast and so on and so forth. Yeah.
All right, Shekhar, you tell me, do you think Pakistan is unnecessarily playing politics at the World Cup to just distract?
Of course, not just playing politics, they're playing harikiri with themselves, I feel they've just made a complete fool of themselves. They brought the tournament to such a moment where it's looking like Big Boss more than anything else. The kind of things they're doing, whether on, whether off, whether they want to play, whether they don't want to play. At the end of the day, they've forgotten that this is a T20 tournament where there are other nations playing cricket, where there are nations from different parts of the world which are playing. Notwithstanding that, an India-Pakistan game also draws in more views, more eyeballs, more money, of course, and it also affects the other nations. And the fact of the matter is, they've held this tournament at ransom. And now I think with ICC coming in, they have to take a hard stance at this and tell Pakistan very clearly about what they think. And I really believe these are exciting times, and the focus really should be around the game, around the players, around the kind of talent we have. And till now, in the matches which you've seen so far in the World Cup, it's been so exciting. Smaller teams have played really well, and it's just a matter of how things pan out from here.
Right, viewers, let's give you some more details we're picking up now. India also awarded a scare in their opening T20 World Cup match against the USA yesterday. After a shaky start at 46 for 4, Surya Yadav led India's recovery with an unbeaten 84 of 49 balls, helping them post 161 for 9. The USA were beaten by 29 runs, finishing at 132 for 8, but showed many positives with strong batting from Sanjay Krishnamurthy and Shubham Ranjane. Meanwhile, Pakistan faced a scare from the Netherlands in their game, highlighting an off day or perhaps a major cause to worry for their campaign. As for India, should they make any changes to their lineup ahead of tougher clashes is the question. In fact, I want to take that to Sunil. Sunil, what do you think went wrong while batting against US, or was it just a pitch surprise?
Well, when you look at the first three deliveries, it was very clear that Netravalkar had done his homework well. He was trying to block them up. It was perhaps one of the worst international T20 outing power play for India. One of the worst, I say, because the runs were less, the wickets were more, and despite playing three top left-handers, India found them back in the hut pretty soon, and I think that's when the problem started. And when you don't play Jasprit Bumrah, you bound to face that. Of course, Siraj did the wonderful thing of putting it up, but yeah, I think it was a nice jolt to India, and I think it sets a good tone for the World Cup. That even the defending champions are tested from the very first game from the minnows. Over to you.
All right. Shine, you tell me, do you think Surya Kumar has hit form at the right time for India?
Actually, that was all of the time has to. Because the way the gates has gone, it was not expected from India against USA. Again, we can say it was a surprise element, which is really to prepare India a better manner. And it's not only India, both teams, even Pakistan, was a surprise. It was not supposed to be both matches on 20th over. So yes, it was so many things helped us, so many things matters like the catch drop of the Surya Kumar at the score of 9 or 8. So somehow it's helped them, and then Akshar Patel supported him very well. So yes, he did his captaincy very well, but it was definitely not expected from the team India.
All right, let me take also another question from Shekhar. Shekhar, has USA now proved they're ready to compete?
See, there are a couple of things. This was the first game for US, and I think India was also testing themselves here. And the second thing here is US has got a couple of very good players who are, from what we saw yesterday, the players were really up for it. They were not affected by big match nerves. They were playing against a big opposition like India. When you're playing in India against India, and with the backdrop of Vakade, it can really take you by its nerves. It can really rattle you. The fact of the matter is, US actually really played well, and you have some seasoned players who have come in from Mumbai and different parts of India and who are playing in US. So I believe this is a team which one really has to look out for. The fact of the matter is, they did not get affected by the pressure around them. They were not nervous. They gave India a run for the money. And I think the fact that Surya Kumar Yadav played well, he played a captain's knob, and navigated the innings is because of what we're talking today. Otherwise, things could have taken a different turn. I think the US team is a team which one has to really look out for. Amongst the new teams, it has a lot of potential, has a lot of promise. They have a very good attack in terms of spinners and in terms of pacers. And I really think one is really going to see how they turn out in terms of the future matches. Also, the fact that the wickets they got of India were all planned wickets. If you look at the wicket that got of Abhishek, right at the beginning, was planned down to the T. So they have done their homework. They understand their potential in Indian and Sri Lankan conditions. And I believe there is a lot which is going to come in from them.
All right, we'll watch out for that. But let's also tell our viewers that in the first heavyweight clash of the T20 World Cup at Chepauk, New Zealand beat Afghanistan comfortably. Afghanistan missed a trick by not fully utilizing their spin options, and despite the Chepauk spin advantage favouring their bowlers, New Zealand sailed through easily, chasing down the target with overs to spare after restricting Afghanistan to a modest total. Noor Ahmed's omission from the playing 11 is now in question, as it might have altered the dynamics. But Afghanistan put up a good fight with resilient batting and tight fielding. Can the Afghans cause more upsets in the upcoming matches against stronger sides? That's the question. Sunil, would you answer that?
Well, absolutely. You must realize that Afghanistan is a top-class team when it comes to the T20 games. Spin option, yes, is a kind of concern for them. But I think when you miss out on the power play, and you've got such a huge batting depth because they've got several openers in their squad. But if you face that, and suddenly when you don't defend that, it's like the classic case of Sunrisers, who can score 300 runs on any given day and can concede 310 runs on the same very day, because they don't have the bowling attack with the bite. So that's where the problem started. Also, you've got to convert the half chances of runouts and catches, which kind of Afghanistan should work on their prowess. Anyways, you've still got some games to play. This was a deciding game because the winner of this game actually goes through the top 8. But Afghanistan will have a real hard, tough luck to come back into this tournament. after losing this.
All right, Sunil, let's also talk about Noor Ahmed. Did Afghanistan really miss a trick by benching him?
See, Noor Ahmed is a quality player. Of course, when a big World Cup happens like this, you've got to pick up players according to the opposition as well, not just the playing stats and the records and this thing I've all put together. The problem that I faced here was Noor Ahmed didn't have the last 10 innings in the way that he promises his average to be. His figures are not actually bringing him up to speed with the New Zealand team's compact attack in the first 6 overs. So yeah, that was a problem for not picking up Noor Ahmed. But again, it's a class side which can always come back into a big game any given day.
All right. Shaheen, what do you make of the New Zealand side? Lost to India, but are they off to a good start?
See, the Group D is the most difficult group because this is a group where 3 teams are fighting for the top 2: New Zealand, Afghanistan, and South Africa. Even the 4th team, UAE, can block any team at any type of time. Not block means like they can affect your run rate, they can block you on any point. So that Group D will be the most interesting group. So definitely New Zealand marked very well, and it was setback for Afghanistan. Now we have to see how Afghanistan will come back. So because the 3rd team is South Africa, so they have to start their own things also. So yeah, Group D will be very interesting in this tournament as compared to other 3 groups. And yes, New Zealand definitely is one of the favorites in this tournament. So let's see how it will go. But yes, South Africa, New Zealand, and Afghanistan, which will qualify for the top 2, that will be interesting.
All right, Shikhar, do you see New Zealand as a favorite to reach the final?
Yes, I think they are a good team. They've always played well in the World Cups, and they have players who really play above the potential. From time immemorial, we're looking at New Zealand. Somehow they always sneak into the semi-finals, quarterfinals, and they have players who we don't really talk about. They're not flamboyant players. They are players who play to the potential. They are players who understand the game well. They can bat, they can bowl, then field. I really feel the T20 game is perfect for the New Zealanders because they have all the ability. They're a great fielding side. They put in more than 150%, not with 100%. And I think there is something about the New Zealand side which is not as flamboyant, which is not as creative as other teams, but it still gets the job done. Notwithstanding the fact that they didn't have a great series with India, but India is a very explosive side right now. I think beyond that, I think if you have to look at New Zealand as a team, we should never ever underestimate them. They have a very good team. They have bowlers for Indian and Sri Lankan conditions, and more than anything else, they have match winners in a lot of players. From Glenn Phillips to all the other players you have there. I think they're all players who have played well in the IPL, who have played well in the T20 leagues, and now are playing well in the World Cup too. So one can never just underestimate them.
All right, Shekhar, would you have to add on to Glenn Phillips and Tim Seifert's performance? Do you think they're going to continue the momentum?
Absolutely. Glenn Phillips is somebody who really likes the big match occasions, big match moments, and he's got a temperament which also suits it. He puts his 150% on the field, be it batting, be it bowling, be it fielding. If you look at his acrobatic fielding, it speaks for itself. But more than anything else, these are players who really give more than 150% on the field. They really punch above their potential. They may not be as talented as players from other tournaments or from other teams, from Pakistan team or from the Indian team. But these people have a lot of ability. They put in a lot of hard work. And remember, they're playing in Indian and Sri Lankan conditions, which is very, very different from New Zealand conditions or even European conditions. So it speaks for itself.
All right, Shaheen, I'll take my final question from you. What do you expect from the remaining games today?
See, now as I said, now the build up is started. Just started. It's very initial matches going on. Let's see how that again. As I said, Group D there will be a fight. There's other 3 groups. We know everyone knows who will be the top 2 there. So let's wait. When the Super 8 will come, the whole build up of the tournament will start from there only. So initially we are just marking the players, warm upping the things, except Group D. Let's like for India, Pakistan, other Group B and Group C, they are relaxed. Let's chill them and let them ready for the Super 8.
All right, gentlemen, thanks very much then for joining me in this discussion. It was a pleasure to have you all. And with that, viewers, we'll wrap up this bulletin at NewsX. Stay tuned for all national and international news and updates.